like little rises in the surface area. And artists have to draw that. So as you have higher resolution textures, you have more demands in terms of the creation of the 2D assets that then get wrapped around the model that give it life.
Well, it's interesting. You're talking about sort of tessellation and those surfaces. Recalls to me a Call of Duty Ghosts presentation that I saw where they talked a lot about sub-D, which is this development technique, this graphical technique, which basically does what you're...
It stands for subdivisions. It's very similar to tessellation. But it's,
I thought the D stood for dog.
Oh,
sorry.
no. And subdivisions are a type of modeling tool, whereas tessellation is applied afterwards to a model.
Okay, yeah. So the subdivision thing is, if you have a reticle out here that looks like a circle, but it's really made up of, straight lines at angles. Those straight lines are broken up, so they become smaller straight lines, and even smaller, so that once, so that the illusion is maintained that this is a circle, even though it doesn't have to render a perfect circle out here.
Yeah, and for years, people have been using the similar technique with what's called level of detail models, where if a character is off in the distance, he'll have a tenth the polygon count he does as he gets closer. And
Grand Theft Auto is a good visual of that. Because it's very obvious in the distance when you can see stuff that's not jagged, but you can see it's much more...
Yeah, and sometimes they'll have 10 different models, to really give you a better draw distance. Again, that comes up because it's important that you don't want to have that fog, that fake fog to kind of mask the deficiencies of your tech.
Fog, the great savior of the Xbox 360 and PlayStation.
Fog of resolution.
And many... I like that. I like that phrase.
Thank you. Copyright.
All right, let's talk about some other EA stuff. We actually saw some EA games during the Microsoft press conference.
Yeah.
One of the big ones being Battlefield 4.
Yes.
And, that was a single-player demo. We made mention that we hadn't seen multiplayer yet. Do we think that this EA press conference is going to focus on multiplayer? I mean, they're certainly not going to show us Angry Sea again.
No, you'd hope so. At this stage, they like to drip out those levels. And the reality is, with any of those Battlefield games, there's only so many scenarios and stuff in them. So they try and not maybe expose too many of them too early.
Right.
I'd be really surprised if they showed more single-player stuff, unless it was maybe perhaps
No, you'd hope so. At this stage, they like to drip out those levels. And the reality is,
I think people need to see
no, you'd hope so. At this stage, they like to strip out those levels. And the reality is, no, you'd hope so. At this stage, they like to strip out those.
In terms of money and in terms of the amount of people playing the game, and the reception as well. Like, it's been great. Like, I've loved Battlefield multiplayer games for years, and Battlefield 2 was really great, but only a small kind of number of people played it. Battlefield 3 just blew the doors open.
Absolutely.
Great.
And so you played predominantly on the PC?
Yeah.
And so what's the player limit on PC multiplayer matches?
64, I think. Yeah.
Whereas on console,
32.
32.
Yeah.
So now we're going into next gen, Xbox One, PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Do we think this is one of the places that next gen is really going to flex its stuff, is in having bigger multiplayer matches with games that have the high graphical fidelity and environmental complexity, vehicular elements such as Battlefield 4.
I think we saw that with the last demo of Respawn's game, which is called, once again, Titanfall.
Yeah.
I think we saw a lot of that. The problem Battlefield has specifically is that game on a controller, because of the size of areas, the precision required to shoot people. Like, I play on PlayStation 3 quite a bit. It's much, much more difficult. But I think you're right. I think that's sort of, I feel like maybe Dust 514 and MAG were games that had concepts that we probably won't really see properly executed until this generation. Part of me just really wants Dust to be on PlayStation 4. I don't know, as like a free-to-play built-in onto it from the off.
Dust 514, the first-person shooter, just came out recently for the PlayStation 3, ties in with EVE Online, and those guys, which, of course, that economic-fueled space MMO. Have you enjoyed Dust 514? Have you played much of it?
I played a bit of it in the beta. Kevin, I've had some really interesting conversations with Kevin Van Ort about it. He played loads of it over the past couple of months.
Yeah, he's been busy.
They seem to have done a really good job. They released a patch just before the I guess, official release, and it fixed a lot of the problems that were with that. It's good. It's a very functional first-person.
And so you mentioned that, though, because, like, how many players are in that? Is there
DOS.
pretty substantial?
I couldn't even tell you. It's somewhere around the 100 mark.
Yeah, and MAG had 256.
Yeah, it was 256.
Yeah, but of course,
was it 256 a team? Maybe it was 128 a team.
No, I think it was 128 a team.
Huge numbers, either way.
But yeah, those battlefields were segmented, and they were certainly not as good looking as a Battlefield 3.
No.
You know. Okay, so if we're hoping to see multiplayer, then what do you want to see?
I'd like to see as much vehicular stuff as possible.
Yeah.
I'd like to see...
They got boats.
They got boats. I
boats.
thought the close combat stuff they did in 3 was really interesting. Then they started bringing out maps that were specifically tailored to specific armor sets. Like they had the tank stuff, which was really good.
Armored kill.
Whereas the stuff out of the box with BF3 was kind of mostly open area, and there was a couple of different vehicle options. You could kind of do what you wanted. I'd like to see them kind of concentrate maybe on like helicopter gunplay maybe in one map where you kind of have to do it, or with Battlefield Vietnam, one of my favorite things was the helicopters were so important for transporting people. In BF3, they're more of a just having their own fights in the air.
Yeah, they're
I'd
more
like
of an
to
offensive tool as opposed to that logistical
And they're kind of doing their own thing. It's for taking out armor and stuff like that. But in Vietnam, what I loved about it was they were basically part of the battlefields. They were just like sitting there. I don't know. I'd like them to mix around with that stuff because I think they've got more confident with it. With every one of the DLC packs, they tried a new kind of little mechanical take. So I think it'd be cool for them to kind of play around with that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd like to see destructibility. That's another big one that people talk about when it comes to the Battlefield series. Of course, Bad Company 2, super famous for the very excessive destructibility. They ratcheted that way back for the mainline Battlefield 3 release, and I think that they'll probably, keep a similarly restrained approach with Battlefield 4, but we did see in those early multiplayer demos, or in that single-player demo during the reveal, some destructibility, and with the close quarters stuff that came out for Battlefield 3, that certainly became more of a tactical element than I think it was in the core multiplayer maps.
Yeah, big time. To be honest, I think the biggest focus for Battlefield fans would be that the single-player is more open. I think the multiplayer is pretty solid, and it's going to be interesting and enjoyable to see what they do.
Yeah.
But I think there are still issues about how the strict linearity that was in Battlefield. That's a word, right?
Linearity.
Straight shooting games. A bit more open world stuff like was in Bad Company wouldn't go.
Certainly they stand to improve the most in single player.
Yeah.
I'd also be intrigued to see a co-op announcement.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Battlefield 3 had the missions. Was that Battlefield 3 or was that it wasn't Bad Company. Yeah. Battlefield 3 had sort of maybe 8 standalone cooperative
I can't even remember
missions.
them.
Yeah,
He's making it up.
It's true. You can look it up on the internet where you'll find a guy saying that
what he said is true. Yeah.
Would like to see co-op on a bigger scale. Certainly doesn't seem to be factoring into the campaign as they've shown it thus far. There's a lot of characters, already in there. That's certainly seems to be a single-player experience locked in. I wonder if they're going to do any kind of standalone stuff, any kind of standalone co-op mode.
I wonder if they'll be so secondary with the single player again, because it very much felt like this is a multiplayer game and here's your story alongside of it. And there were some genuinely good bits in Battlefield 3's story. Like the Paris mission was incredible. Like that short little
the metro.
The metro one. That was as a little bit on its own.
Moment of that one mission that starts off and you're just at a dead sprint out of the back of a plane. And you're Halo, high altitude, low open drop onto this big field where a battle's raging. Yeah, it did have some good moments for as much as it is also rightfully criticized.
Yeah, well, it ends with a QuickTime event.
Slamming the car door or whatever it is. Freaking Battlefield, man. All right. We also have
hopefully Mirror's Edge 2.
Ooh, all right. We're getting to the finger crossing speculation point of the pre-show, which is always good.
Yeah.
Mirror's Edge. Talk to me, Peter.
Go for it.
Everyone, well, I shouldn't say everyone. A lot of people really want Mirror's Edge 2.
Literally every person.
Literally everyone in the world. And I'm one of them. And I think, it's a lot of the demos we saw for the Xbox One press conference had a lot of this sort of Mirror's Edge-esque maneuverability. And
has the time come again for first-person parkour?
I sure hope so.
Yeah, so what did you like about the original Mirror's Edge that makes you want a sequel?
So the perspective, I think, was interesting for a lot of reasons, because most people are used to that being like a shooter thing, or maybe an Elder Scrolls, right? But this was like a platforming game in a 3D world from a first-person perspective. It was really stark for the most part, right? But you would have these really brightly colored objects that would sort of lead your eye through the level and direct your character and give you an idea, how to traverse the world. And it was really special. Violence was a part of it. There was some, hand-to-hand combat and some shooting, but for the most part, it was a platforming experience in 3D that was very different from anything that had been done before, and really hasn't been done since.
Yeah.
And EA pushed it so hard when they were first coming out with it.
Yeah, the new IP launch. You got Faith, like this badass lady, but like as the protagonist.
And then they released it, and it did okay. And then there was an iOS game, and then where did it go?
I've heard that it underperformed for what EA were hoping to get from it.
Of course,
they put so much marketing into it.
Of course.
I've also heard that Mirror's Edge 2 is the worst kept secret in Stockholm video game.
Oh, really?
Circles.
In the dice and all.
Yeah. Like
circles?
it's been. They've had a team working on it for years. That's what the rumors are about it.
Okay.
From developers up there.
So
yeah,
pretty,
I really hope
pretty strong chance we're going to see some of that
Yeah.
at the press conference today.
I'm pretty confident about it.
I hope so.
I hope so, and I hope they don't have the gunplay, because the gunplay in the end of Mirror's Edge 1 was just not enjoyable
It didn't do
at
service
all.
to the rest of the game.
No.
You know?
It was almost put in to remind you how good the first part of the game was
It's like,
without
check it
guns.
out, you could have been shooting
Yeah.
guns.
Imagine how crap this game would have been if it had a gun in it.
Just shooting guns. I'd just like to see more games end with first-person hugs. I think that's like a real important thing that we should integrate into first-person
It was ahead of its
action
time,
games.
man. Yeah.
Can you remember what the story was in Mirror's Edge? Can you remember what happened at the end? Faith was the
No.
girl. There was her sister.
Her sister was in
Yeah.
danger from the company that controlled the media.
Yeah, it's
maybe?
such a European game. Because it's like
And
set in this like
so European.
American city, maybe Asian city, I don't know, but it's like you just know this game was made in mainland Europe. It's like, everything's so white and colorful.
It's so austere. Yeah, it's just like bright blue skies,
Yeah.
stark white buildings with the the red pipes that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
The moments that sort of stand out.
I just think that because it's so different and distinct, that's great for EA's portfolio. I mean, they have so
Yeah.
many like sports franchises that have been around for almost 20 years now, and then they've got Battlefield, and it's all this sort of like expected stuff. And Mirror's Edge is this little glimmer of just being different. I think EA could benefit from that, and I know I would love to see it. It's the one property of theirs I actually care about.
Yeah, they've got their stalwart franchises. They're sort of pillars.
Exactly.
And we saw them, diversify recently with the whole EA Partners program.
Yes.
They tried, but also that, and that led to games such as Shadows of the
Dead
Damned,
Space?
and I don't think Dead Space
Honest?
was a Partners program. I think
Okay.
that was mainline EA production.
But still part of, I kind of feel like that was in a nice experimental area, like a horror game where
Yeah,
there
and
was
then it
no...
turned into, this trilogy or plus.
which
that's-
got less and less interesting. It was so... Well, 2 was great, but yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like it got
Unfortunately.
homogenized in some way.
Do we think there'll be a new Dead Space?
I don't.
Dead Space
I could be
3
wrong,
just
but
came
I
out
don't see
recently.
it.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not sure. I think it sold
They were
well.
just banging the Dead Space 3 was last E3. I feel like it would be very early to tease, but then
Another one.
again, if it's, you want to tease something for your next gen projects.
Yeah.
What are the odds of new IP then? Where are we? EA MOBA.
MOBAs, we have yet to see a MOBA in the Microsoft press conference. It's always
We almost thought we had League of Legends.
Yep.
Yes, and then there was World of Tanks.
And then it ended up being World of Tanks, which was like so much better, so much,
Probably a
less
better
expected.
fit for the 360.
Yeah, probably.
Well, one other thing to consider is, EA's partner. So EA Partners was partnerships with third-party developers to bring their games to market. One of the most recent partnerships they've made is with Respawn Entertainment, formed by Vince Zampella and Jason West after their not-so-amicable split from Infinity Ward. We saw Titanfall debut at the end of the Microsoft press conference, and we saw a pretty substantial gameplay demo.
Yeah, that was
and after an announcement trailer.
Yeah.
But that's being published by EA, so I think we're definitely going to see that during EA's press
Cool.
conference, don't you think?
I would hope so, yeah.
It's such a high-profile new game. It's just announced. People are, the internet is probably all flush with talk about it.
And I think as well, what they showed, well, we heard nothing about it for so long, and then we got a trailer and we got a bit of gameplay out of it. But we didn't get much clarification as to what exactly was going on. We've still got questions about what's single player, what's multiplayer. Is this like a
true.
cloud shared resource? Is it co-op, what's going on where. We've basically had nothing about the narrative, where it's set, or any of that.
Yep.
So perhaps that's because they're going to spend some
Flesh it out a
time
little bit more.
at the EA conference talking.
Well, certainly. I mean, we basically saw a multiplayer match, right? We saw the player drop in. We saw 3 control points that you had to take charge of, and then just running around killing other players with, you know, their gamer tags and taking out their Titans. And then, you know, that was a multiplayer match. Is that part of the main experience? Is that in addition to a single-player experience? Some more details on Titanfall.
Is it multiplayer only, like you said? It could very well be. It's like those guys cut their teeth in recent years on multiplayer experiences. They know it really well. So
certainly.
Based on what I saw, this could be the first game where I'm okay with that, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Usually
it's
I
an interesting shooter, guys.
Usually
it's an interesting shooter.
Well, it's got the RTS, you know, things. It's got the mechs. I mean, it's really different. And I usually fight for the single-player campaign, but it's good enough on its own.
We're looking at just about under 10 minutes until the EA press conference gets underway here, folks. You're joining me, Chris Waters, Danny O'Dwyer, and Peter Brown here at GameSpot's pre-show. Just a reminder, for those of you who weren't with us during the Microsoft press conference, we're going to be commentating throughout the show. We're going to keep it to a minimum so you can hear what people say and hear the trailers and stuff like that, but we'll definitely be adding some thoughts in here and there. So if you want to hear that, twitch.tv/GameSpot is the place to watch that stream and join in the chat and have some fun there. If you want just the press conference, unadulterated, pure EA, straight to your eyeballs, GameSpot.com, that's where you want to watch it. And that's the housekeeping that I have.
Hashtag GameSpot E3.
Oh, yes, and tweet hashtag GameSpot E3. Get in touch with any of us on Twitter. It's at Danny O'Dwyer. I'm at CT Waters.
Yeah.
At PC Brown. Ask us questions about stuff you're seeing. Obviously, we're not.
Hey, look, Sean McInnes is behind us.
We're not answering them right now, but like Danny and I are both hosting stage shows that are gonna have demos for a lot of these games. And you can also tweet at that S. McInnes guy and tell him what a super cool friend guy he is to be loitering back.
What EA games do you have on the state? You've got FIFA.
Yep.
I've
got FIFA. I've got Titanfall.
Sweet.
Coming down the pipe. I think you have Battlefield 4.
Yeah, we're wrapping up tomorrow on stage 2, Battlefield 4.
Yep. Dragon Age 3.
You got Dragon
I
Age?
made that up.
All right.
But let's talk about it. Is there going to be Dragon Age on display?
Oh, man. You want to feel this one?
What do you know about Dragon Age? I don't know if we have a Dragon Age fan
Well, no,
here.
I played the original one for a little bit, and then 2 I just heard such like nobody liked it. Like some people liked it, but then
some people liked it.
But for the most part, it was likable. Most people were down upon it. You know what I mean? Compared to the first game,
it was a bad year for
so perhaps 3 could be an opportunity to sort of go back to what made the first one work. Maybe take away some of the stuff that wasn't so good in 2. Breathe life back into it. Because it's a strong franchise. It just needs a little bit of a boost.
Yeah. I think we'll probably, I don't know.
It would make sense
Yeah,
to see it.
See some dragons, some ages.
Age of Dragons?
Yeah, I feel like
I have a real good grasp about what that game is about.
Yeah, me too. I played a bit of the first one, same as yourself, and then when the second one came along, I was like, okay, it's going to address some of the problems I had with the first one. Kind of like what I had with Mass Effect. It was like it started off well, and there was bits about it I didn't like the combat I thought was pretty rudimentary. But then I read the reviews for Dragon Age 2, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
See you later.
There's loads of other good games to play.
Speaking of, Danny.
Other good games to play?
No, Mass Effect.
Oh, God, yeah.
Is that going to crop up? It's been a while since Mass Effect 3. We've had DLCs. That saga has pretty much come to a pretty solid end on that generation of consoles.
Yeah.
Are they going to episode 1 it and go back? Origin story?
Even
more?
Whose origin story?
I don't know.
I think it's going to be Shepard. It's probably going to be some different folks. Right?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah, so maybe you go back to when humanity was at war with the
Romulans.
Turians, because that was the first contact war, I believe, when humanity took to the stars and then ran up against the Turians. And
Neil Armstrong.
And they,
Fisticuffs.
Neil Armstrong definitely.
I would like to see a new Mass Effect. Yeah, completely slate clean. Yeah. Future 200
How
years.
Slate
past
clean? Do you want the
years.
same? Do you want a third-person action game with dialogue, story choices?
I would still be alright with that.
You want the same format?
Yeah.
Different
I could
story
do
and
more
characters.
Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Mass Effect's great. So and knowing how good if I went into playing Mass Effect 1 knowing that 2 and 3 would exist and that we get that rich fiction throughout it, I would have been even more excited. So I'd be totally into new Mass Effect. I really, really, really because this could go anyway because BioWare have had just this horrific year with I feel like Mass Effect.
Do tell.
I feel like they got out of it. Mass Effect 3, for all the problems that people had with the ending and all that.
Oh, they got so mad about it.
Ended up getting out of it pretty all right in comparison to other franchises that have had much worse happen to them.
The Old Republic is not doing so well.
So I really hope that we just didn't. If a Mass Effect first-person shooter, I'm out.
First person.
If a Halo Wars Mass Effect comes out, if anything that's just not like Mass Effect is Mass Effect because of the mechanics, because of the story stuff. You know, it's a great universe and it's really interesting.
Yeah.
But it's the way in which you engage in it that makes it interesting. It's the way you talk to people. It's like that's why I never got involved in like Halo fiction or stuff like that, because I never feel invested in it. Sorry, bro.
No, dude. Like, honestly, I'm kind of right there with you. That Halo fiction to me, like Halo 4, was the first time I really cared about, because I thought the storytelling that 343 Industries brought was so much better. Yeah. And the storytelling has been there from day one with the Mass Effect series, and I think that universe is stellar. Yeah. Because Starpun. I think it's so rich, and one of the things I loved about that universe is, like walking around the Citadel and listening to people talk about stuff that I will never experience, or like reading about something in the logs that, or scanning a planet and just getting a quick snippet of a story of like the Reapers came and all people geared to this planet where they were living in biodomes, and everyone like geared up to like fight them as soon as they came, but the Reapers just like poked a hole in the dome. And like, that's all we need to do. So it's just it's so rich. It's so full of potential stories, different races. I mean, I think you'd be hard pressed to name too many richer sci-fi universes like out there. So I would
not derivative
love to
either.
see a new one.
Because often when new sci-fi stuff, you're like, okay, they pulled that from that and that from that and that. But there's something about Mass Effect, like when you went into the canteen or the canteen area when you're first on Citadel and 1, and you met like the guy who only speaks like that, only speaks in emotions or something. Like, and you just go, God, the concept of that is so alien. It's great. Whereas a lot of stuff, especially like television, where you have to go to the effort of doing makeup and stuff. Yeah, it always tends to be
you can't get too adventurous. You got to do that Star Trek effect. Of just some weird crap on your face. You're an alien. Cool.
I just had a crazy thought.
Yes.
What if we get road rash? No?
Giancarlo, is that you?
Open world road rash?
Oh, I love road rash.
Everybody. This time I mean it, everybody.
Road rash on the Amiga 600, 10, 15, whatever it was years ago. I don't know. Really?
I mean, so my road rash of choice was on the Genesis. So, this Road Rash 3 or 2 and 3. Yeah. I just remember getting to the point where you're going so fast, there's like nothing you can do. Like steering has become a moot point. You are on this rocket, and like if someone comes near you, like clank with the crowbar. That's really fun.
Or the chain.
I feel like you need to, you slow it down a little bit. Like you have to be able to get near people. I don't know. There could be a way to make it.
There are ways.
I want to hit people with a crowbar.
There are ways
on a motorcycle.
To do it. I think
these are just gameplay design choices.
I would be interested to see if Road Rash could be shoved in some sort of like free-to-play model, because in the past it was all about upgrading your bike, and
true.
So one of those situations where you can grind or you can spend a little money, just like you would in the real world, obviously, and buy a bike, upgrade parts. You know what I mean? Get a new crowbar. It's 3 feet long.
Microtransactions.
I'm not the only one out there.
Nothing says war of the tarmac than microtransactions. I feel like that itch of like motorbike combat has been scratched by so many open world experiences like GTA and Just Cause and stuff that are really good. Like
but it hasn't been tackled like full force.
No, I don't know. I'm super cynical about it. There's a Kickstarter for a Road Rash thing, and it looks like junk.
Yes, I'm not saying take the old Road Rash and just put it in 3D and put it out. I mean, I'm saying do something different with it, but still kind of have those elements that made it special.
If all the police
hitting dudes in the head with a crowbar.
All right. And policemen with all of Irish surnames, even though it's in Nevada, not like Boston.
Hey,
or
man,
somewhere.
you guys have great cultural exports.
It's a great Dublin
People who
exodus
enjoy enforcing the law. All right, I just got a little signal here. It looks like we're getting very close to start time for the EA press conference here at E3 2013. Is that right, Benito? We can very soon. So at any moment, this could be yanked away from us, and you could be transported to a magical, darkened...
Welcome everyone to The Download, a showcase of new games coming soon from all of us at Electronic Arts. We're here today at the beautiful Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles with 4,000 people in the audience and millions more watching on TV and on the web. Everything you're going to see in this next hour is brand new code created for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. 11 great games presented to you by the talented developers who make them. These are the games that will define the new consoles when they launch later this year. It's truly a great year to be a gamer. From blockbusters like Battlefield, Madden, NFL, FIFA, and of course Need for Speed, to the return of favorites like NBA Live and Dragon Age. BioWare employees over there, and to brand new games like Titanfall from Respawn. On top of that, we've got some big surprises, so let's get started. And what better way to kick it off than with a beloved franchise that over the years has captivated millions of fans worldwide.
I'm on stage at E3 announcing a third-person action title by PopCap. That is crazy. Plants vs. Zombies is crazy. Last month, we launched PvZ Adventures on Facebook, and on July 18th, we'll be launching PvZ 2 on mobile. But today, we're introducing Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. Coming first to Xbox One and then to Xbox 360, this multiplayer action title, it won't just tickle your funny bone, it'll chew the whole damn thing off. So hold on to your traffic cones and please welcome the brains behind Garden Warfare, producer Brian Lindley and creative director Justin Wiebe.
Thanks, John. In PvZ Garden Warfare, we've tried to capture everything we love about epic action games and blend it with everything our fans love about PvZ. We're about to show you an exclusive first look of our 4-player cooperative survival mode. We hope you enjoy it. Okay, leading us into battle is Justin, playing as the pea shooter. Now, Justin just planted a pea turret to help him fight this first wave. Here comes a chili bean. That's great for crowd control. Jeremy is going to join the fray as a chomper, our close combat fighter. He's just planted a new plant from PvZ2, Bonk Choi. Steph is playing the Sunflower, the healer class of the plant team. And here she is healing the pea shooter, keeping her team in the fight. And last we have Gary, who's playing the Cactus, who's great at picking off zombies at a distance. Here comes the boss wave. Zombots is bringing in the heavy hitters. You guys need to work together to take Gargantuar down. Gary, let's take this fight to the air. All right, Corn Strike's ready. Let's finish this thing. Nice work, Clan Team.
Thanks, guys. That was amazing. Thanks so much. I'd say I was speechless, but I have one more thing to announce. Coming this year, Peggle 2!
you. Hey, everyone. We're here today unveiling Titanfall. Titanfall is the first game from Respawn Entertainment. It will be available in the spring 2014 on Xbox One, PC, and Xbox 360. Game development is a team sport, and I consider myself lucky to share the passion of an amazing group of industry veterans and talented newcomers at Respawn. They've been hard at work on this game, so I'm excited to introduce them to you and let them share their vision. So we have a nice video for you. Enjoy.
When we started on Titanfall, we had a couple main goals we really wanted to achieve. First and foremost, we wanted something fun. There's so many games now that are just retreading old ground, and we really wanted to do something that was so fun and unique that we couldn't put it down ourselves.
The thing that is most exciting about the project is how we have this unusual blend of the scale of Titans and pilots fighting each other. We also take this sort of high degree of polish that we're accustomed to seeing in single-player games and infusing that into a multiplayer experience.
Even though it's a multiplayer game, we really wanted to create a single-player feeling world.
We wanted to make the worlds a lot more compelling and relatable to the players. One, because you get an emotional attachment to it, and two, it helps in tactical awareness.
You feel as if you're not just part of a multiplayer crew of, however many people. You're not just there with your friends, you're with this living, breathing world that reacts to you. You walk in and you're like, yeah, I'm the man. Like, you just have that vibe.
Go, go, go!
Take a squad up this road!
The Titans are extensions or evolutions of modern experimental exoskeletons.
We treat it as if you're looking at the ultimate evolution of a battle tank.
We're really trying to redefine what you think when you see giant robots on screen. They're not lumbering, they're really fast, they're agile, they're fun. There's a lot you can do with them.
We wanted to make a game that pitted two different kind of play styles and almost two different games on top of each other.
Naturally, it was a real challenge to balance the two to make sure that the Titans felt quite agile and fairly quick without overrunning the pilots completely.
The Titan versus Titan experience could almost be its own game, and the pilot versus pilot could be its own game. But what we found was the most interesting things happen when the Titan is fighting the pilot.
As a result, our geometry and our levels has been built to accommodate both the scale needed for a Titan to get around, as well as a pilot to be able to get to all these different places via wall running, via double jumping, mantling,
before I go there. But it's really the interplay between the two that's really special, because you can get in and out of your Titan at any time. It's a really quick, seamless interaction.
And the IMC. Battle projections say it's going to be real close.
If there's one thing that I want gamers to take away from this, it's fun.
I'm very excited to see when you take something like this and you just put it into the wild and see what people come up with.
You've got characters, you've got story, you have moments, things that people traditionally expect from a single-player game, putting that all into a multiplayer game, and it's awesome.
If you've been making games for as long as I have, you recognize those magic moments when breakthroughs in technology create a huge leap forward in gaming. We're at one of those moments right now. Gaming on the consoles will never be the same again. Microsoft and Sony have introduced powerful new systems, and just as important, EA has created all new software engines that will allow us to astonish you with epic new experiences. Engines provide a set of tools, huge amounts of codes, the physics, rendering, special effects, and AI that are the foundation of every game. Engines make the hard stuff easy, which allows developers to focus on innovation. At EA, we've invested heavily in two breakthrough engines that you'll see today: EA Sports Ignite and Frostbite 3 from our DICE studio in Stockholm, Sweden. All the games you see next are built on these new engines. We've been working on Ignite and Frostbite 3 for almost 2 years, and we're still discovering incredible things we didn't know they could do just a few days ago. That means, as good as these games are today, they're going to keep getting better. Our DICE studio is using Frostbite 3 to create an all-new blockbuster. Let's take a look.
We are unbound. Free. We push the limits in the most powerful cars. We go where we want, as fast as we want. We are the law. You can't catch devils with angels.
I am not you. I'm the life you're too scared to live. I'm the reality show. The catalyst. You want to know why I do this? I want to know why you don't.
We are the end of your freedom.
I will never stop.
We will hunt you down.
Good job, never
catch. We will not stop.
Will make me famous.
We are everywhere. Fame will break you.
You are my challenge.
You are our target.
You are my rival.
Hi, and welcome to a new generation of Need for Speed. Led by Ghost Games, EA's newest studio. In Need for Speed Rivals, everything starts with the ultimate rivalry between cops and racers. Though you can play through this game offline, it is online that we are revolutionizing with a feature we call All Drive. All Drive destroys the line between single player, co-op, and multiplayer, and it gives you one world and you choose how to experience it. Play it alone or with friends and rivals where your races and chases can collide at any time. All Drive delivers the unexpected, resulting in a non-stop edge-of-the-seat experience. And here to show you what that looks like is the Criterion creative director, Craig Sullivan, and Ghost Games lead designer, James Mouat. Craig will be playing single player as a racer, and in a minute, James will be playing single player as a cop. As the two screens move together, you will for the first time experience a race that starts in single player and ends in multiplayer. And I will join in on the fun, calling in a helicopter to help James from my tablet.
All clear on Driftwood. The window is open.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Thank you, guys. That was awesome. Now, I'd like to switch gears a bit. Here's the star in the Need for Speed movie from Breaking Bad, Aaron Paul.
Hello, hello. You know, as a gamer myself, it's really cool to be here at E3 to share a peek behind the scenes at our movie, Need for Speed. Just like the game, we're looking to give you an adrenaline rush that puts you on the edge of your seat. For the first few months, I've been racing around in some of the hottest cars in the world, including this custom Ford Mustang, my car in the movie. So let's take a look, enjoy, and have a great E3.
Need for Speed is definitely accurate and authentic to real car racing culture. My job as a director is I'm going to allow you that thrill and put you in the seat and let you drive at 230 miles an hour.
Hi, everyone. I've spent the last 13 years at BioWare, and almost a year ago now, I stepped in to help lead our studio into a next generation, which begins with Dragon Age Inquisition. We're creating a new RPG experience. For the first time, you'll explore a vast open world where your choices not only affect the story, but will also change the world around you. You'll lead an Inquisition to restore order to a world in turmoil. You'll meet diverse and complex characters, some new and some who our fans will instantly recognize. Dragon Age Inquisition will launch in the fall of 2014. We're taking the time to craft a deep, captivating experience for you. With that, here's the first glimpse of the next generation of RPGs in our first trailer, The Fires Above.
I've seen more of this war than you can imagine. None shall be untouched by the fires above. Faith lies in ashes. Our fragile alliances crumble to dust as this world is torn asunder. Closes in. Will you stand against it? Or lead this world to its bitter end?
At EA Sports, we're proud of our past, our history, and our legacy. But today, we're unveiling the future. Our new games are built and powered by EA Sports Ignite. And today, you'll hear more about how they come to life in 3 big ways. With human intelligence, athletes will have decisions and human-like instincts. With true player motion, how speed and agility creates dynamic athletic performance. And finally, living worlds, immersive sports environments and games that change with you every single day, based on the real world of sports. Here they are, our EA Sports games for Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
Release, return. The physics of the dribble is release, return. So this release marks the long-awaited return of that hezzy crossover bounce pass that leaves ankles in casts. This release is the return of art to the science of dribble by Basquiat, who dipped the ball in acrylic, take it to the paint, and turn Staples Center to Sistine Chapel, where hard physics meets art exhibit meets advanced analytics like, look, ma, both hands, no coding tricks or motion scandals. The game of basketball can finally handle my handles, because this release is the return of what every true baller knows. If you love something, let it go. Release. And if your game is tight enough, it will return.
Go, go, go.
Go, Kyrie. Yeah, I'm good. What a great way to express our focus and vision for NBA Live. Thank you to Sekou Andrews, the world's leading poetic voice. And who better to help me share that vision than NBA All-Star Kyrie Irving. How you doing? I am so excited to be back at EA Sports, leading the team in Orlando. Our focus is simple: to create a great basketball game exclusively for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Now, Kyrie, why don't you tell everyone why dribbling is such an important part of your game?
Well, Sean, the dribble opens up so many different opportunities. You need freedom, creativity, and control. Without it, your options are limited.
Kyrie, you've been to a lot of basketball games, but no one has ever done dribbling well. It's always lacked the depth of true ball handling, until now. It's our #1 priority. We're redefining the dribble with a brand new next-generation technology called Bounce Tech. Now, Kyrie, when you were with us in Orlando, we talked a lot about different ways in which you break down your opponent. What's going through your head in those situations? What are you trying to do?
In those situations, I'm just trying to be as efficient as possible, looking at different angles, looking at my defender's feet, and basically trying to be creative. I try all my new moves in games. That's how I play.
Now, with Bounce Tech, for the first time ever, we're actually releasing the ball to physics. Up to this point, your hand was literally tied to the ball. Ball handling was completely unnatural and absolutely predictable. The ball was just along for the ride. Now with Bounce Tech, we separate the ball from the hand in every single dribbling animation. This gives the player unprecedented control and authentic responsiveness. It now becomes you, your opponent, and the ball, finally allowing for creativity and self-expression. And now you can't be creative without first understanding your opponent. Kyrie, we've talked a lot about how you scout each and every one of your opponents. Now, how does that help you in your game?
Well, knowing every opponent is huge. Every opponent is different. They have different tendencies, different spots on the floor. Being prepared for every different moment is really important. And, you know, I take a lot of time to prepare for every game.
That's exactly what this game delivers. The same data that all 30 NBA teams received will be pushed exclusively to the NBA Live gamer. And get this, not monthly, weekly, or daily, but within an hour after it happens. This has never been done before. NBA Live will be a new experience every time you pick up the controller. It starts today, right here, right now. NBA Live is back. Now let's take a look at the first NBA Live 14 trailer, starring this guy.
Today, we're introducing Madden NFL 25 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. A game that looks, feels, and responds in a way you've never experienced before. Everything you see here today is actual gameplay footage. Through major gameplay innovation, we've given players the ability to think intelligently and move more like elite NFL athletes. The result? The smoothest and most authentic gameplay to date. Our new True Step locomotion system calculates incredible detail with every individual step. You now have the ability to foot plant, cut, and shift momentum with precise footwork, which means greater realism, more control, and more fun. Our new Player Sense feature uses 50 times more contextual calculations per second. This allows players to scan their environment, navigate with awareness, and react on the fly. Like we're seeing right here, a ball carrier can instinctively leap to avoid a falling player and extend his run. Or a blitzing linebacker will deliberately slide past a teammate through a gap in the line to get to the QB. And the combination of intelligence and player movement is no more evident than at the line of scrimmage with the war in the trenches. We saw it in this year's NFL draft. 8 of the first 10 picks were offensive and defensive linemen. Line play is at the heart of football, and now it's the foundation of Madden. Linemen are more than just physical, they're intelligent. And we've rebuilt our O-line, D-line play from the ground up. And now offensive linemen dynamically sort and shift assignments based on threats. This creates realistic running lanes and passing pockets. Double teams, blitz pickups, and pocket awareness showcase units working together as one, finally giving you the protection you need to step up and deliver the ball. Through the power of EA Sports Ignite, our gameplay is closer to NFL football than ever before, with players who move and think more like NFL athletes. Add to that stunning visuals. Every nuance of a player's face, clothing, and equipment is rendered with amazing detail. Madden NFL has never looked or felt so real. And to celebrate this next generation of Madden, we're unveiling a new cover featuring Adrian Peterson, the greatest running back in today's NFL. To finish things off, here's what you've all been asking for. The first full-length trailer featuring actual gameplay footage from the next generation of Madden launching this fall.
Cuando salí, para mí, en lo personal, el momento más tranquilo, ¿no? El hacer lo que hago siempre, de jugar al fútbol, intentar de hacer las cosas bien.
We want to take the possession of the ball, and you have to take some risks sometimes, but it's how we understand the football.
We like to keep the ball and have the control of the game. We like to have the possession most of the time and create chances from that.
Yo soy un pasador, me defino así, y tengo que tener un movimiento por delante mío. Vivo de eso, vivo del compañero y que el momento del desmarque pues estés atento para verlo en el momento justo y adecuado.
La sensación de marcar un gol es la sensación más gratificante, más vistosa, de más felicidad, ¿no? La culminación del fútbol.
My life takes me to places all around the world, like Barcelona. I meet people from every walk of life, and no matter where I go, there are two constants. Everybody wants to talk soccer, and everyone is playing FIFA. My passion for soccer runs deep, and my respect for the team behind FIFA is just as deep. When I play the game, I can only think about what the development team behind the game are doing to make the FIFA I love even better. That's why I've been connected to FIFA in the past. That's why we're connected here today, and of course, in the future. But at the end of the day, I'm just one fan who loves FIFA, a fan who plays a lot of FIFA, and I cannot wait to see the next generation here today. So, let's get on with it. Here is Matt Bilby and FIFA 14.
Everyone. Such a great fan of FIFA. Innovation is what drives our FIFA team, and this year with EA Sports Ignite, we're building an experience that will be the most authentic football game in history. Let's see some actual gameplay. We're looking here at Barcelona's Camp Nou. If you've ever wondered what it feels like to be right there with 100,000 passionate fans, now you will. Thanks to Ignite, our stadiums are alive. You'll now see and feel the reactions and emotions from both players and crowds. And we have massive gameplay innovations we're unveiling here today. Now, you and every other player on the pitch have pro instincts. For the first time, players can now make intelligent decisions with 4 times more calculations per second. Players like Xavi now analyze and respond to the action so they can anticipate and avoid contact, maintain possession, or brace for challenges and big collisions. And on the pitch, you'll move with the precision movement of a pro. The athletic abilities of players like Messi come to life as they explode out of each step and every turn, preserving their natural momentum. Finally, you'll have the freedom to make decisive cuts with the ball, to burst around opponents or dance between defenders. With elite technique powered by the memory of the new consoles, you now have the arsenal of stunning shots, creative passes, and magical moves you've always wanted. We've added hundreds of new skills to make the artistry of football come to life. With players who think intelligently, move like real athletes, and living stadiums that are full of emotion, nothing will match the exhilaration you feel when playing FIFA 14. This is the future of football that our fans have dreamed of, coming this fall on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. We are very proud to have a fully playable next-gen version of FIFA 14 this week at E3. Have fun playing FIFA, everyone.
From the sold-out Shrine Auditorium, it's time! Introducing the head of EA Sports, Andrew Wilson! And the president of the UFC, Dana White! And introducing the current light heavyweight champion, John Bones Jones! And the current lightweight UFC champion, Benson Smooth Henderson!
Bruce Buffer, ladies and gentlemen, the voice of the UFC. Guys, thanks for being here. Really appreciate you being with us today. Last year, here at E3, we announced a brand new partnership with the UFC. Our journey together has already been amazing. It's awesome to now be part of the fastest growing sport on the planet.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to say we are truly honored to be in business with you, my friend. The early stuff that I've seen from the game is amazing. But first, I want to tell you guys a little story that I told the boys over at EA about why this is a universal sport. First of all, I believe fighting was the first sport ever on this planet. Before a guy hit a ball with a stick, before a guy threw a ball through a circle, 2 men were put on this earth, somebody threw a punch, and whoever was standing around ran over and watched, okay? It's what I truly believe. And I'll tell you why this thing works everywhere. Because I don't care what color you are, what language you speak, or what country you come from, we're all human beings, fighting's in our DNA, we get it, and we like it. Anybody disagree with that? This game is going to be amazing. I'm so pumped up for all the fans all over the world. These guys do an amazing job from production to marketing, and fight fans everywhere will get to experience this game.
Dana, thank you so much. Listen, well, you heard it here today. So now you get to feel what it's like when that cage door slams closed behind you. You get to feel the fight with champions like Ben Henderson and John Jones. But before we unveil our first trailer, let's talk about a couple of groundbreaking new features that gamers are going to love and get to see this week at the show. First, our new MMAI system. It lets fighters organically alter the strategies throughout the fight. This is a huge part of fighting, and it takes a unique level of intelligence. John Jones, this man here is one of the smartest fighters in the octagon. His fight with Chael Sonnen was a perfect example.
Yeah, like, for example, in my last fight, I was fighting a guy who was a magnificent wrestler. I knew he was going to try to take me down, so I took him down first. I did exactly what he expected me not to do, and that's what fighting is about. It's about improv skills and mixing it up.
So that's what it takes in the octagon. But you want to be an ultimate fighter. You want to know what it feels like to be punched in the face. Well, listen, the human body has a visceral reaction to being hit. So we built a brand new technology that lets gamers see and feel how bodies respond to every strike and every submission. It's full body deformation, and no other fighting game has ever done this before.
When I catch someone in my guillotine choke, there's no space between us. I'm squeezing hard enough to finish the fight. Bringing that into the life, it makes it 100% authentic to what we as fighters feel inside that octagon.
Listen, these are just 2 of our new gameplay features, but there's a lot more to come. The game launches worldwide on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 next spring.
Like I said before, nobody does it better than these guys. I've been waiting for this deal for a long time. And I'm not just saying UFC fan. If you are a fight fan, this is going to be the best fight game ever made.
I hope you love the trailer.
It is said that the first sport, the original main event that thrilled the masses, considered the greatest spectacle of all, was the fight.
Thanks. So people talk about next-generation gaming, but what does that really mean? For us at DICE, it's not just about pretty graphics. It's a total package of emotion, immersion, and being connected that really counts. The next generation of Battlefield stands for many things. Only in Battlefield can you experience destruction and dynamic environments that react to your every move. It's a design we called Levolution. Only in Battlefield will you feel the chaos of all-out war with 64 players all around you. Only in Battlefield will you have the power to dominate air, land, and sea. And only in Battlefield will you experience true team play with your squad.
So in Battlefield 4, we are giving you Commander Mode. As a commander, thank you. As a commander, you take a bird's eye view and directly impact the action on the ground. You provide critical intelligence to your team and with powerful assets, and you help turn the tide of the battle. Now, Commander Mode is a part of a connected Battlefield experience, which you can enjoy either in your living room or on the go with your tablet. Part of that connected experience is also Battlelog. And this is our social network that lets players communicate and compete with friends. With our new features, you will be able to interact directly with the game anytime, anywhere, and on multiple devices.
So, let's jump into the demo. I'd like to invite Alex on stage to play the
Take it out. Good job. Guys, you feel that rumbling?
Yeah.
Looks like we have some tanks over here. They're trying to take this building down.
Commander, we could use some help here. You got anything?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to send in the heavy artillery. Here comes the missile. Firing.
All right, I see it.
Incoming.
I have a hostile machine gunner just east of your current position.
Nice. Right on target.
Thank you.
Listen up. Enemy helicopter just south of your current position. Hostile spotted. Get out, get out!
That building is unstable. You better get out.
Jump!
Building's going down!
You'll back me up, right?
Thanks, guys. That was pretty awesome. I hope you agree with that. Now, before we leave, we have a bit of a surprise for all you DICE fans out there. For many, many years, you've been asking for one specific thing. Well, it's time for us at DICE to deliver. Have a great show. Thank you.
Thought you might like that one. Faith is back. Mirror's Edge, everyone, coming from our incredible team at DICE. So there you have it. 11 fantastic titles to define a new generation in gaming. For those of you lucky enough to be at E3 here in Los Angeles, you'll be the first to get your hands on our Xbox One and PlayStation 4 titles at the EA booth. Join us for 64-station multiplayer Battlefield 4. As well as for Need for Speed Rivals and the EA Sports Ignite experience. For those of you at home, get ready. It's going to be a great year for gamers. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the show. Thanks, everyone.
Sweet thing, never had a love about ya. Confuse the other people walking as you go. Yeah. First time, everyone's a winner. 2 times, gotta be a sinner, don't ya?
street level, blew up a support pillar, and the tank pancaked down.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
that
pretty
messed
great.
up the road. Like, that takes out that tank. That is just, that's the kind of destructibility that
And you can see the
is
turret's
really
going to turn
exciting.
towards them like, what?
I could
you
still
guys are
do
gonna
it.
eat it.
I could still get you. Battlefield 4 looked good, and we got just not even really just a tease about Commander Mode there. Not really
Right,
any,
yeah.
information. Maybe we can get this guy to ask him more about it tomorrow on your stage show when they bring it by.
Last thing tomorrow, I think it's 4 o'clock.
Yep. We had the suite of sports, so we had UFC.
Yep. Which, you know, they didn't show gameplay. They just showed previs stuff again. Dana White, Ben Henderson, and John Bones Jones out there talking a load of
full body punch attacks.
Yeah, full body deformation. You heard it here first, folks.
FIFA? New FIFA?
Yeah, I don't know. They just had Barcelona guys talking about stuff. They talked about the stadium stuff, which I had alluded to before, as in that is what Konami had talked about on the weekend. So at least that's something. But yeah, nothing too much there. Madden was the only one that was really much of a lead. I
Hey,
think.
whoa,
And NBA,
Bounce
of
Tech,
course.
come on. Shout out to Bounce Tech.
Bounce Tech and NBA Live, and that spoken word, dude, that was cool. I like that.
Yeah, both, and then Drake.
Yeah.
I literally
Drake was no.
He's like a
no,
pop
forget that.
musician.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he carries to Europe, which was most of who was watching the FIFA thing. So
Does not
like
appear
Drake.
to.
It's like when they had Duffy doing the EA thing 3 years ago, and we were like, "Who's Duffy?"
Who's Duffy?
Who is Duffy? It was the name of my elementary school, actually. Little known fact. Internet.
Dragon Age Inquisition Fall 2014. We'll be hearing about that next E3 a lot, presumably.
Yeah.
Just a little teaser of that this time around.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot to see.
And is it possible that was Was it Morrigan? Morinth? What's
Yeah,
her,
that's
what's
what
that,
people in
what's
the
that
chat were saying.
Mora
Yeah.
lady. What's her name? Thing.
We had the Dragon Age chat already.
Yeah. Need for Speed Rivals, talked about that.
Yep.
That's happening. That part of the
That was quite
trend
cool.
this year's E3 of breaking down the barrier between single player and multiplayer
so.
even further.
Yep.
Of course, Titanfall also in there as a multiplayer game. They answered that question that we had
Yeah.
during the pre-show. That's multiplayer. You're always on. Star Wars Battlefront.
That's cheesiest teaser you've
Super
ever
cheesy.
seen.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
teasy.
And it's hard not to get it. It's hard to, hold back your excitement, right? Because Battlefront is a series that people love, and so it's great to see it. Even though we don't really know what's happening.
so many like awesome, fantastical battles in places that you recognize from the myriad Star Wars
Exactly.
literature, movies, games, etc.
It's hard not to just imagine how great that will be.
So
I hope
that's
it'll be great.
Disney now, right? Because Disney owned the rights to.
Disney owns the
all
rights
that
to
stuff.
Star Wars, yeah, but they could have sold, game development rights to somebody.
But
for a certain
it's
title.
incredible that that's happened because
Yes.
people were really worried that maybe Disney would just take it down the kiddie route or maybe the film stuff with the new J.J. Abrams
Oh,
series.
sure, but from a business standpoint, I mean, I think in the hands of EA, only could Battlefronts.
It's great. Yeah, they brought back something that people really liked, so I just wasn't expecting it, especially.
Sure, yes.
Disney doesn't, I don't know.
Pretty cool. Ice Planet Hoth. Hopefully you get to pilot all those vehicles, etc., etc. And then they started it off. We didn't actually get to see too much of Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare
Yep.
because the stream cut out here. Maybe other people saw
bit of
it.
sketch.
Person action, and so we saw very briefly, you inhabiting your goofy plant, blasting zombies with your specific ability, etc., etc.
I actually thought it kind of looked all right.
Yeah, no, it looked kind of cool.
Yeah,
You were interested.
Looked really expressive, and I kind of like that the characters coming out of that. So we'll see. I don't know.
Certainly,
I'm
I mean,
probably more interested in that than I am Plants vs. Zombies 2. So.
Oh,
Or a
Peggle
Facebook
2.
game.
Peggle 2.
Oh, Peggle 2.
Let's not forget.
Oh, that's
David
right.
Show.
Peggle 2.
Peggle 2.
Extreme Fever.
Extreme Fever. All right, folks, we are at the halfway point in our press conferences here on day 0 of E3 2013. We've got Microsoft and EA in the can, which means Ubisoft and Sony yet to come. Ubisoft is actually going to start pretty soon, I'm told, and so we are going to shut this stream down. We're going to go get geared up for Ubisoft. Danny's got to go somewhere else. I think we're going to change the cast around a little bit for Ubisoft, but then we'll be back around for Sony as well. So stick with us on the Twitch channel to join the chat and keep up with the commentary, and on GameSpot for pre- and post-show commentary, as well as the straight-up press conferences as big new game announcements and all sorts of new next-gen excitement come out of E3 2013. For Peter Brown and Danny O'Dwyer, I'm Chris Waters, saying we'll stick with us because E3 is happening all week long.
Hashtag.